Hello there, and welcome to another character profile. Today I'm going to be discussing quite possibly the greatest character ever written in the history of British television. He is frequently angry, annoyed, and frankly just hates people to the point where you wonder why he runs a hotel. That man is Basil Fawlty. The inspiration for Basil came about when the Monty Python troupe stayed at a hotel in Torquay run by Mr. Donald Sinclair. He proved to be quite belligerent and poorly treated everyone, from the guests to the employees. And so John Cleese became inspired to create a sitcom, and thus the brilliant Fawlty Towers was born. Basil Fawlty is one of those comic characters where a lot of the humor is in seeing how angry he can get, whether at himself or at the patrons. He constantly tries to insert himself into the upper classes of society, but is frequently annoyed by the regular folk who pop up at Fawlty Towers. However, he also grows agitated with even upper class guests. One of the most famous and funniest examples of Basil not knowing how to deal with guests is when a group of Germans stay at the hotel and he keeps on making references to World War II. However, there are also times when you can sympathize with Basil, and his snide responses to pushy guests are just as funny. Even as they were putting Basil under such poor treatment, Cleese and his co-writer Connie Booth would feel equally sorry for him. Basil also has a tendency for getting frequently angry with his employees, especially the Spanish waiter Manuel. With a slow grasp at English, Manuel tries his best to understand Basil's demands, but only manages to gain his ire. Andrew Sachs delivers perfect comedic timing too, and his interactions with Cleese are also some of the best moments in the series. Basil also gets rather annoyed at his wife Sybil, who seems to spend more time on the telephone than actually doing any work. However, he also has a fear of her wrath, especially when he tries to save money in the cheapest way possible, like when he hired an incompetent carpenter to build a wall in the hotel. Fawlty Towers lasted for only 2 seasons and 12 episodes, but completely at the decision of John Cleese and Connie Booth. While more episodes would have been great to see, this was actually a smart decision on their part. These 12 episodes are some of the funniest bits in comedic television history, and it doesn't matter if I've seen an episode 1,000,000 times, I'll always laugh out loud again and again and again. Cleese and Booth ended on a high note rather than prolonging it just because it was popular. It's no surprise that other great British sitcoms decided to take the same route, like The Office, Extras, Spaced, and Bottom. Think about all those American sitcoms that continued way past their prime, a recent example being, ironically enough, the American version of The Office. Also interesting enough, there have been 3 separate attempts to turn Fawlty Towers into an American series. Not surprisingly, all have failed. The first was a pilot with Harvey Korman. Then there was the short-lived Amanda's with B. Arthur, of all people, as a female Basil. The most recent attempt was a remake with John Larroquette, which was actually endorsed by John Cleese himself. It also didn't last particularly long. Let's face it, it's hard to top John Cleese, and Basil Fawlty will always remain the funniest angry character. Now, John Cleese did think about bringing back Basil for a full-length special in the 90s, and from what I've read, it sounds like it would have been really funny, even though most of it would have been set away from the hotel. But let's face it, Basil Fawlty in an airport on a hijacked airplane would have been hilarious. It's probably the last person who should be in crowds or a tense situation. However, Cleese felt 90 minutes was too long for Fawlty Towers, and the idea was abandoned. Oh well. At least we have 12 fantastic episodes to enjoy. Fawlty Towers is one of those shows I think everybody should watch because the quality is that high.